I thought I heard you say Sharon.
I said Joanne. Some phone numbers on, I don't know who they are. 440-650-8940.
People get ready, for the train is coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Tonight, on the eve of Thanksgiving 2022, we have an outstanding show with a lot of great information tonight. You will enjoy our show tonight, and we will begin with a quote from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and the two quotes are, "There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politics nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right." The other one says, "It may be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the barbaric words and the violent action of the bad people, but for the appalling silence and indifference of those good people who sit around and say, wait on time." And we know that that is very irrelevant for today's time, because we have issues in our community where people are silenced, especially leaders, our political leaders, our social leaders are silent against situations such as the St. Vincent Charity Hospital closing, and also the layoff of the the University Hospital conditions. And we want to extend to you an opportunity to get your business started. I know you've been saying to yourself, I've been waiting for this opportunity to start my business. I've been wanting to start a business. And now is the time for you to start your business by beginning with the Bibb's Business Opportunity Grand Opening. Let me say that again. It's Bibb Business Grand Opening Opportunity Mall. So you can begin by joining Snap Delivery. Did I say Snap Delivery? Yes, you can begin tonight with Snap Delivery. And Snap Delivery has a great opportunity for those of you who want to participate in this. They have the employee retention tax credit program, and they also have what they say the ERC refund. $1.9 trillion are available. $1.9 trillion are available to those who qualify for this program. And who are the people that qualify? Let me inform you of those people that qualify. If you can receive up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. $26,000 per W-2 employee. All you need to do is have a business in the United States or have a nonprofit organization. You now qualify to receive a federal tax refund check. And all you have to do is you can join Snap Delivery today. You can join it today by calling Mr. Charles E. Bibb's office at 216-681-1469, or call his mobile phone at 216-659-4619 and have a great opportunity presented to you. Tonight, we're going to begin our podcast with Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop, the great Charles E. Bibb. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. You are awesome, as usual. You're getting better each week.
Thank you.
And the Snap Delivery business is getting great right with you.
Yes, sir.
And we're so glad to have you with this double hitter. and you are a great man for this intro. And while we're speaking about great, we have one of the top recording gospel and rhythm and blues in the greater Cleveland area. Miss Joanne Holly, are you in the house? Miss Joanne Holly, are you in the house?
Yes,
Miss
I had
Joanne
to
Holly
unmute
gonna
myself.
bring us,
I had to unmute.
yes, bring us the latest with your business. Step to the front, Miss Joanne Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., and thank you, Reverend Ben Fair, for such an exciting introduction. I am excited to be a part of this team and of this group because they're willing to share with other people. And here and now, I am so elated to be a part of the cryptocurrency group because people are learning how to become financially free with cryptocurrency. And it's really very simple. It's not that hard. Just have to know it, learn it, know how to transfer your money, know how to go from one currency to the other, which you can do all of that at home on your computer. And you can make thousands of dollars from home right now without leaving home. I am excited to know that you can double, triple your money, whatever it is that you choose. You are in control of your money. Right now, if you don't have a current cryptocurrency account, you don't know how to trade, you don't have to know any of that. All you have to do is have a desire, and you will be taught what to do in a short period of time. You can get to rocking and rolling. And that's what we have to do if we want to start building our legacy. We got to do the same thing Kanye West is doing. What is he doing? He is promoting his business. He's stepping out, and that's what we have to do. So we're going to be having a private conference call on Thursday, December the 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to give you the phone number, 712-775-8968. That's 712-775-8968. The PIN number is 498-257-pound. 498-257-pound. You need to be on the call so you can learn how you can change your future. Because if you don't change it, it's not going to change. What you're doing today, if you did the same thing yesterday and the day before, and nothing has happened positive as far as your finances, that tells you you're doing something wrong. You have to get with the experts and learn about what's happening now. I'm glad to be a part of this group. I want to thank Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. for looking out for me, for his team, and anybody else. And also, I'm going to have a surprise for you when we have this call. I have a new product, organic greens that detoxes your system. It is absolutely fabulous. So thank you again. Thank you for the whole team. Candace, back to you, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr.
Thank you, Miss Joanne Holly, and you keep doing a good job like you're doing, and enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay, we have back-to-back Miss Joanne Holly, certified coach, and Miss Candace Jones. I'm excited to announce she's a SNAP delivered certified coach, and she's an ERC certified coach and trainer. And she's gonna take over. Miss Candace Jones, come down front and tell us what's the latest.
Thank you, Mr. Bibb, and thank you for everyone that's listening or watching the podcast. I'm going to talk about ERC for a couple of minutes, but before I get into it, I'm going to have a short video that's going to show and tell you a little bit about ERC, and then after the video goes off, I'll explain a little more. So if we can have that video started now, that would be great. Thank you very much, Mr. Engineer. And ERC stands for Employee Retention Credit.
Hello, this is Tony with Jorns and Associates. Today we'll be discussing the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. The ERC was first introduced in the $2.1 trillion CARES Act back in March of 2020. It earmarked up to $26,000 per employee for business owners who kept employees hired during the pandemic. This is a fully refundable tax credit against the employer portion of Social Security payroll taxes or the Medicare tax, depending on the period you're filing for. It's paid to you directly via a check. It's not a loan. You don't have to ask for forgiveness. You don't have to pay it back. And these funds are not earmarked. You don't need to use them for payroll or operating expenses. The ERC can be utilized at the discretion of the business owner. You claim the ERC by filing an amended 941X quarterly payroll tax return, claiming your credits on lines 18 and 26. There's several misconceptions about the ERC. Many owners do not think they'll qualify because they did not have a revenue decline, or maybe their revenue increased during the pandemic. Maybe they didn't experience any shutdowns, or they received PPP loans and those loans were forgiven. And while these are factors in the process, they certainly do not disqualify your business from receiving the ERC funds. The qualification process is extremely thorough. Our team will go through gross receipts, revenue sectors. We'll look at your day-to-day operations, your supply chain, basically how the pandemic affected your day-to-day business throughout 2020 and 2021. The scope of engagement is pretty straightforward. You can connect us with your CPA, your bookkeeper, payroll team, so we can get all the documents necessary to file the ERC on your behalf. You'll complete our basic client questionnaire, get us any PPP loan information, provide us with your original 941 returns, so then we can file the 941X amended returns with the IRS and claim the ERC funds. We do not guarantee any specific refund amount until we have all your payroll data and we can run the calculations. We do guarantee that our calculations are accurate. We do guarantee that our filings with the IRS as a paid preparer are compliant with program rules and regulations. And we do provide long-term audit support and carry E&O insurance with up to $1 million per client. The service fee structure creates zero risk for business owners who decide to work with Jorns and Associates. We have a contingency fee of 20% on the amount of credits delivered, and we charge a fully refundable deposit of $2,600 due at signing. If for whatever reason your company does not qualify for the ERC program, we refund the $2,600 immediately. If you do qualify, then we'll invoice you for the 20% contingency fee minus the $2,600 deposit you paid at signing. So that is credited towards your fee. So if you get paid by the IRS, you owe us money. If you don't get any money from the IRS, you owe us nothing. We have software performed calculations to eliminate human error, and we have a fully audit-ready package, which includes our compliance services. If you want to move forward with our ERC program, the associate that you're working with can send you an engagement letter that you can sign, remit the fully refundable deposit, provide us with your completed questionnaire and the required documents, your revenue spreadsheet, the 941s, the payroll documents, your PPP loan details. We'll have an onboarding specialist assigned to your file so you have a point of contact to help you through this process from beginning to end. Our CPAs will prepare all the filing documents, send it over for your team to review. The documents will be signed, mailed to the IRS, and in approximately 14 to 20 weeks, you'll receive your check from the IRS. Once you get paid, we'll have you pay us the remaining balance for the contingency fee, and that's due after you get your check. There's plenty of information about the ERC on the irs.gov website. You have to go through all the different PDFs, and you can also review the CARES Act, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, and now the new infrastructure bill will have an effect on the guidance. So you have to keep up with everything, which our team will do that on your behalf. The bottom line is there's over $1 trillion earmarked right now for businesses just like yours. And right now, that $1 trillion+ is sitting in the United States Treasury's account. Connect with one of our associates today and let us help you move those funds out of the Treasury's account and into your business account where they truly belong.
Wasn't that exciting information to hear about the ERC program and that $1.9 trillion that's available for a business to be able to get a refund portion of that? So as it was mentioned in the video, that you just need to contact a SNAP delivered resource, and it's Mr. Bibb, Reverend Fair, or I. I am an independent agent with Jorns and Associates. I'm actually an executive director with SNAP Delivered. I took some additional training with the ERC program, and I am considered an independent agent with Jorns and Associates, which means I just have more information and detailed information. If a business has questions, I can answer some of the questions. No, I can't answer questions related to how the filing is done, but general questions I can answer, the low-hanging fruit questions. So since the ERC program was launched for SNAP delivered resources to be able to go out and help businesses, and that was just launched in July of this year, the SNAP delivered resources have helped thousands of businesses be able to get a tax credit through the ERC program. There are so many more businesses out there that don't realize they qualify, and so much more funds that are available for them to take advantage of. So if you know of a business that had suffered or maybe didn't suffer through the pandemic, they can apply for the ERC credit and see how much funding they can get. Jorns and Associates goes through very detailed quarter by quarter for 2021 and 2020 to determine how much of a tax credit a company can get. And again, the tax credit they do receive is not money that has to be paid back. It is not money that has to be used for anything specific. The business can use it for however they choose to use it. So if anyone is interested in more information, they can call Mr. Bibb, and his office phone number is 216-681-1469, mobile number 216-659-4619, or they can contact me, 216-570-4738. But we're trying to get as many businesses to realize that they could qualify for a tax credit, money that they would not be getting any other way. Thank you, Mr. Bibb.
Thank you, Ms. Candace Jones. And Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir, Mr.
I
Bibb.
want to compliment Ms. Candace Jones. We went to a restaurant that I frequent this past weekend, and we introduced SNAP Delivered, ENC, cashback program,
Yes.
and the company is looking into it as we speak. And I want to congratulate Ms. Jones. She gave a very good presentation of the company.
Oh, great.
Thank you in public, Ms. Jones, for that.
Thank you.
And we have another one this Saturday where I go to my cleaners. I just have to ask one question, Reverend Fair. Do you have 5 or more employees?
Yes.
And did you get any money from the government?
Right.
They got it waiting on you. So
Yes.
I'm enjoying this.
All right.
All right. Now we're going to switch lanes. We're going to go to pure politics. Pure politics. On November the 8th, 2022, United States had their election. Democrats won some, Republicans won some. In the United States Senate, the Democrats won, and Chuck Schumer is the majority leader of the United States Senate for the next 2 years. The majority leader of the Senate.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the Democrats lost the House. Nancy Pelosi will not be the speaker starting in February of 2023, not 19, 2023. The leading candidate for speaker is McCarthy, but he's still counting votes. Last week he was counting votes, but he didn't come public. They have not had their meeting, but he did go down to the border of the country between Mexico and America. And he says as soon as they get in, they're going to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary because they got impeached on their mind. And you might not be aware, but we have one of the top Republicans coming out of Ohio that were elected on the 8th of November, Jim Jordan. He will be the chairman of the next regime, and he says he's going to be investigating Biden's son, Hunter Biden. So it's going to be a rough 23 and 24. So stay tuned. Maybe by next week, Ms. Candace, they will have their election and we'll know who the Republican speaker will be. It's not much different between them anyway for us. So that's the latest in the House for 2023. And Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir, Mr. Bibb.
you have some information for us that you shared with us.
Yes, sir.
Plain dealer article.
Plain dealer article from October the 6th, 2021. And it's coming out of Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center. And it just says, they are treating us like animals. We cannot come out of our rooms for we don't know how long. We are scared for our lives. We just want to see and hear our families again. Please help us. These words rang out on social media last summer in a letter written by a youth inside the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center, where about 125 children are detained. 90% of the juveniles at this facility are under the age of 18. The facility is attached to the juvenile court on East 93rd Street and Quincy Avenue. If you passed by recently, you wouldn't guess children are housed inside. There's no sign of them in the large yard out back. Instead, they remain locked in their drab cells, just big enough to fit a narrow mattress on top of a concrete bench for sleeping. This is where they spend most and sometimes all of their days. Use of isolation has only intensified during the pandemic, with several staff shortages. In the past year, conditions have become so dire, Mr. Bibbs, that it begged the question, how can we as a community justify this mistreatment of our young people? In addition to lacking access to basic hygiene like soap, clean laundry, and sanitized living spaces, youth are forced to wear soiled underwear and be shackled to use the restroom. Those who refuse to be shackled are given bags to relieve themselves in their cell. They often go to bed hungry and wake up famished. There isn't enough staff to transport youth throughout the facility. Thus, meals are delayed. Youth eat alone in their cells. Daily exercise and in-person school is denied. And rehabilitative programs and family contact is non-existent. So these are some of the things that are going on down at the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center, Mr. Bibb.
All right. There are several groups in Cuyahoga County now working on the juvenile detention center. And I want you to share with our audience what's going on at Olivet on the 6th of December.
Absolutely, Mr. Bibbs. On the 6th of December, we have an event that's going to be taking place. The Greater Cleveland congregations are hosting Justice for Our Children, a public hearing to end abuse of the discriminatory youth bindover. I'm going to send that. A public hearing to end the abuse of discriminatory youth bindover. And it's going to happen on Tuesday, November the 6th. December the 6th at 2022 at the Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. And it also is happening via Zoom. And I just want to, before I go into any further information, Mr. Bibbs, I just want to cover some of the topics that's going to be discussed there. It says that Cuyahoga County leads Ohio in the practice of bindovers since 2009, with significant increase starting in 2017. Cuyahoga County leads the largest number of black youth of any county in Ohio to adult court. In a county that is 30% people of color, 91% of the children bind over to the adult system in Cuyahoga County are black and brown. For the past 3 years, 2018 to 2020, Cuyahoga County has an average of total youth bind over that was more than 600% higher than the compared to Franklin County, and over 400% higher as compared to Hamilton County. Yet, no policies or plan exists to reduce the bindover in Cuyahoga County. That's why we're having this forum on Tuesday, December the 6th at Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. The youth bindover can have a negative impact not only on the youth, but the community as a whole. Join GCC in publicly calling for the end to the abuse of discretionary youth bindover. You can register here at https://tinyurl.com/December-action. And also Zoom, you can Zoom link opens at 6:30 p.m. Action began at 7:30 p.m. sharp. Also, Mr. Bibbs, they have an email. You can email Vivian at gcc-ohio.org for questions or assistance regarding registration.
Very good, Reverend Ben Fair. Give us that live time again that it's going to be at the Olivet Institutional Baptist Church.
Yes, sir. The live time is the link opens at 6:30, and action began promptly at 7 o'clock sharp.
All right. And we're going to have our People Get Ready podcast there at Olivet Live.
Yes.
We won't be Zooming, we'll be there live.
Be there live.
Because Miss Candace Jones, would you share with us who came on our podcast from the Greater Cleveland congregation?
We had, a couple weeks ago, we had Julie and Jesse from the Greater Cleveland congregation, and they went into more details about the program that's going to be held on December 6th, and they went some of the information that Reverend Fair just read about Cuyahoga County leads Ohio in the practice of bindovers. They went into more detailed information about that as well. It was very informative because I heard about bindovers, but I didn't really know all the information that they shared. So it's very interesting, and hopefully they'll be able to come back before the December 6th date. But if not, please make sure you attend the December 6th event. If you can't make it live, go on Zoom, because there's a lot of information that a lot of people don't know and realize about bindovers and how it can affect, as it was mentioned, the youth and the community as a whole.
All right, thank you. The two churches were represented at our podcast was Antioch Baptist Church. The gentleman was from Antioch, and the young lady was from St. Paul's. Thank you very kindly. And we'll make an effort to reach out to them to get any additional information that they might have, since they were here with us 2 weeks ago, because there's only one Wednesday before the 6th, and that's next week. So we'll reach out. If they can't get here in person for next week, we will have the latest information, because this is going to be spectacular, because there's no turning around now. We have to go forward on it. And while I have the floor, on Saturday, December 10th, Martin Luther King, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Public Library in University Circle on Stokes Boulevard, we will be hosting a summit about this law, what's in the law, and we're going to be asking representatives from the 11th District who are elected to go to Columbus and tell us about it, come and share with us what do we need to do to change this law. So that's at the Martin Luther King Library on December 10th from 3 to 5 p.m. There will be free admission, free refreshments, and free parking. When you come, don't get excited, because right before us, the county will be having a meeting. Legal aid will be meeting there also. They will be having an open summit for anyone who have any legal questions that day. The two go hand in hand. So we're going to get there a little early, and we want to see you all there with us, because this is going to be a big change in this county. What they've been doing at the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center, they're not going to be doing this. And as you're aware, we had both candidates on our podcast, People Get Ready, live, Weingard and Chris Renee, same time, and we told them we had a problem with the juvenile detention, and they told us they were already started to work on the juvenile detention. So look for them as not them anymore, because Chris Renee was elected. He'll be back on the show, and we want progress from his side. But they don't have direct oversight of the juvenile detention. Only thing they have is all the money. It comes from the county executive. So we'll be dealing with that too. So keep that in mind. It's going to be going out of 2022 fast, but we're going into 2023 even faster, Reverend Fair. All right, Reverend Fair, it's your turn again, and I think you have something else for us.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bibbs, on a report on the 2024 Ohio redistricting maps. As of now, no report is available. So everything stands as it was before we had the election, the general election on November the 8th, Mr. Bibb.
Right, very good. They have been meeting informally, one or two of them, but they haven't had a formal meeting. which they were told by the federal judge panel to start meeting after November 10th for the new map. If the audience don't know, the maps that we voted on November 8th are no longer here, they're gone.
They're gone.
So they gotta have new maps for 24. Thank you, Reverend Sharp. Reverend Sharp. Excuse me, Reverend Sharp. Reverend, you moving fast, boy. I can't wait to tell him, when he's here before we talk to him.
Yeah.
Reverend Ben Fair.
Yes, sir.
But I work with the both of you, and you right on his tail.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is Mrs. Sharon Pittman, are you in the house?
Yes, hello, Mr. Bibb. Hello, everyone. Candace, Reverend Fair, and listening and
Hello.
viewing.
Hello.
All right. We're gonna bring you up to date on where we are. Do you have any more information on the recall in Ward 7?
Recalling Ward 7? No, not at this time, at the moment.
Okay. What information do you have for us from the plain dealer?
From the plain dealer, I have a op-ed from a Mr. Taru Taylor, and it reads
Okay.
as such. Would you like me to read it
Would
to
you
you?
share that with us, please?
Yes, sir. So Mr. Taru Taylor wrote, last year on election day, I was excited as anybody when Cleveland issue 24 passed and our new mayor won. Justin Bibb had earned my vote when he promised police reform by supporting issue 24, or section 115 of the charter of the city of Cleveland. I even wrote an op-ed for issue 24 that this newspaper published the Friday before the election. So I was elated as I watched Mayor-elect Bibb invoke Martin Luther King's "Why Can't We Wait" during his acceptance speech. I was happy to hear him speak of the people-powered movement that got him into office, as if to underscore that he stood for democratic and not autocratic leadership. But what really moved me was his shout out to Tamir Rice and George Floyd. He went on, quote, "We cannot afford more of the same of policing in America, and Cleveland will lead the way," unquote. Amen. Here was a man, my mayor, who represented my political interest in police officers who truly serve and protect, as a Black man, not unlike Rice or Floyd. Thought I was hearing a spokesman for police reform. Come to find out, I have been listening to a spokesmodel. The term comes from late civil rights activist Lonnie Guinier's classic essay, The Triumph of Tokenism. She defines a spokesmodel as a role model who speaks in a representative capacity for others. Moreover, she laments that the spokesmodel only really flourishes in the Black community. But the essay's main point is to discuss political representation, especially of poor Blacks through Black elected officials. She compares and contrasts descriptive representation and authentic representation. Descriptive representation assumes that Black officials represent Black folks just because the officials are Black. This fallacy presumes that voters are automatically represented by people who look like them. Authentic representatives need not be Black as long as the source of their authority, legitimacy, and power base is the Black community. White politicians are thus capable of authentically representing Blacks. Mayor Bibb palmed himself off as an authentic representative when he acknowledged the people-powered movement that got him elected thanks to issue 24. But the list of officials that he chose for the Community Police Commission seems to reveal him to be a descriptive representative. He broke the law. Section 115-5 by ignoring qualifications that were clearly mandated for 2 commission members: an attorney with experience representing victims of police misconduct or criminally prosecuted police misconduct, and those who have been incarcerated and exonerated where police were involved in the wrongful conviction or incarceration. Bibb, who holds a Juris Doctor degree, should know better. At some point in law school, he must have learned the golden rule of statutory construction. A statute should be read according to the ordinary and grammatical sense of the word, unless the plain language would make it absurd or inconsistent with the declared intention of the legislature. He was schooled in this on October 28th, when 4 of the drafters of Section 115 made their legislative intent clear. For they shut down Bibb's press conference announcing the commission's 13 members. Subdol Chandra, former law director for the city of Cleveland and principal author of Section 115, had this to say about Bibb's interpretation. Quote, "What they've done here is say, well, we don't care what the framers thought, or even that the plain language says we're supposed to do. We're going to come up with a harebrained interpretation that gives us, the politicians, the ability to do whatever we want to do," unquote. And yet, Bibb has doubled down on his misconstruction of Section 115. He dismissed the professors who shut down his press conference. We're talking about 4 people here. I submit that we're talking about tens of thousands of Clevelanders who sympathize with Kareem Hinton of Black Lives Matter Cleveland, the protester with the air horn who shouted down the mayor, "Stop the noise." So that is what Taru Taylor had to say in regard to Mayor Bibb's press conference being shut down for his backpedaling on the issue of 24. He notes in this article that Bibb had instead started out talking about how that is the issue that got him elected, but instead he's backpedaling from it instead of supporting it. And as he mentioned in here, he broke the law when he set out to form that panel. So yeah, there's a lot to follow behind this.
Thank you very kindly, Ms. Sharon Penman. And will you give us the date that was in the plain deal again?
Yes, sir. This was published on November 18th, 2022.
Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome.
All right. Very right. And we have some more news coming out of the plain deal. Ms. Candace Jones with the sheriff's, what's going on with the county prosecutor O'Malley.
So I'm going to share some general highlights, but this will be a coming attraction for next week. We'll have more details. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley's advisory panel is resigning en masse. So there will be details more about this coming on next week's podcast, so you don't want to miss out on that. But a lot of information will be coming out about that as well. So more to come.
Right. And we'll have one of the panel members here live in the living color next Wednesday. Don't miss it. Thank you. Next, Reverend Fair, this year is moving fast. We're getting ready for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King celebration for East Cleveland. Mm-hmm. For the last 25 years, we've been doing it on the Saturday. The holiday is always on Monday, the 3rd Monday in January. In 23, the 3rd Monday is on the 16th. His actual birthday is the 15th. Our East Cleveland celebration will be on the 14th. The entire city will be participating in it. City of East Cleveland, Mayor Brandon King of East Cleveland, City Council President Nathaniel Martin of East Cleveland, the Municipal Court of East Cleveland, William Dawson, our Judge of East Cleveland, and our school district, Dr. Henry Pettigrew, who is the CEO of the East Cleveland School District, and also the principal of Shaw High School, who will have that #1 band in the country. Shaw Marching Band will be marching from the East Cleveland Public Library to Starlight Baptist Church under the leadership of Reverend Anthony L. Small Sr., who is also the president of the East Cleveland Concerned Pastors for Progress. At the East Cleveland Public Library, there's Mr. Carlos Lattimore, who is the executive director, and Mr. Rashid is the president of the Board of Trustees. And who's with us every year, Reverend Fair? Is Art McCoy, who's right across the street from the library, and the Black on Black Crime Incorporated. And joining us is a little restaurant down the street on the corner of Eddie Road, and you could call McDonald's Restaurant. And then Bibb's video podcast people, get ready, gonna try to coordinate all this. So we got to add some more hours in the day, but we're gonna coordinate it.
All right.
So mark that date. They will assemble at the library at 10 o'clock, kick off at 11. The service will be at 12 noon, followed by a free lunch at Starlight. After the lunch, we'll have Martin Luther King movies and documentations of the movement shown the rest of the day at the East Cleveland Public Library. And Ms. Candace Jones, you might remember they tried to take our library and turn it over to the county a few years back. But we wouldn't stand for that, and we had a real live protest on that one. I do mine live. I was there in living color too, Reverend. And we kept it for this reason. We want to be able to keep our library and do things we want to do in the city of East Cleveland. And want to thank everybody participating. All right. Ms. Candace, would you bring us up to date on our announcements, please?
Yes, I want to share some announcements for events that are coming up. Friends of the East Cleveland Public Library present a holiday pop-up shopping event on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. This is at the East Cleveland Public Library, 14101 Euclid Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, in the lower auditorium. Come and shop with many vendors and unique gifts for the holidays. There will be arts, crafts, jewelry, Christmas toys, clothes, accessories, books, home decors, candles, gift baskets, and much, much more. For information, call 216-541-4128 or 216-926-5837. It's a great opportunity to help small businesses out or vendors out and still get your Christmas shopping done as well. Another event coming up at the East Cleveland Public Library is on December the 10th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is Saturday also. Strong Hands United and the U.S. Marshals presents Children's Holiday Celebration. We invite you to enjoy an afternoon of community fun and celebration. We will have entertainment for the children to promote safety awareness. Our community elves will be on site giving away presents to celebrate the season. There will be free food, toy giveaway, children IDs, and fingerprinting. This, again, will be at the East Cleveland Public Library Performing Arts Center, 14101 Euclid Avenue in East Cleveland. So these are two great events. Hope that you could attend at least both of them or at least one of them.
right, very good. Ms. Candace, would you share with us the program that you're working on in Euclid for the young folks and the basketball piece?
So there is a program that it's called Bluestone Court Coalition. And this has been a program that has been in planning for at least 3 years. The physical part that you can see actually came to life this year. So there are 2 basketball courts that were put up on East 260th, right next to Bluestone Elementary School, and Amani Church is on the other side. The whole idea behind the basketball courts is not just to have kids come and play on the basketball courts. The idea is to have a mentorship program to go along with those kids that are playing on the basketball courts. So that's when we came up, a group of concerned residents and church organizations came up with the Bluestone Court Coalition. So this year, this summer was our pilot program that we had. Kids came out to the basketball courts, played on the courts. We had 3 mentors that we hired. So we had some donations that we took in because the whole idea is that we want to be able to pay the mentors, a small fee for what they're doing. Because it's important to build relationships with the kids. So it's not a program that you have to go and sign up for. We're bringing the program to where the kids are. So build relationships with the kids, and this is a anti-violence, anti-gun program to build relationships with the kids that come out to the basketball courts, to give them a reason or a view of positive ways that they could do activities and things and thought processes as well. So the mentors will build relationships with the kids throughout the summer, and we will also going into the winter or months where we can't be outside in the courts. We have partnerships with one of the churches that will allow us to use their gym during the winter time. We had an art fest this past summer in September of this year, and it was great. Kids came out to the court, and it was more of an awareness of what the whole idea is. And the whole program is the mentorship, because this is an area of the city that did not have recreational activities for kids to go to. The kids in the area wanted a basketball court, but the concern was that, okay, we don't want to just put a basketball court there and, no type of programming going on there. So that's when we came up with the mentoring program. So the program that went on this summer, we had 3 mentors that we hired. It went great. The mentors built relationships with the kids, and we have their information so that they'll be able to come back for programs that we may have during the winter, this winter season, and getting started in 2023. So we are looking for ways to get our funding. Amani Church is our fiscal agent. The nonprofit of Amani Church is our fiscal agent. So the donations that we accept are actually going to a nonprofit entity, but used for the Bluestone Court Coalition. So we are looking for getting different types of funding as well. There's county funding, block grant funding that we are applying for and trying to get as well. So we are working on our 2023 program, not only to get the mentors on board, to bring the mentors back, but also to bring more awareness to the community as well. So it's a great program. It's very well worth the effort. The parents and those that attended the Art Fest in September said they are glad to hear that it is something like this. We want to make it a program where parents will feel safe with sending their kids to the basketball and the playground area. So we want to be able to build that area up as well, not just basketball courts, but what other type of activities do the kids want to have there, and we want their input on that as well.
That's great.
So it's great opportunity for advancement and growing.
Reverend Fair, this is exactly what the Juvenile Detention Center and the GCC and all the other groups are working. And when we spoke to the county executives when they were here,
Yes.
what are you doing to prevent them going to juvenile detention? And this is a good example. Ms. Candace Jones, who is a former Euclid councilwoman, and apparently you have all this wrote up already for
Yes.
presentation.
Yes.
And we need, as the podcast people get ready, to get a copy of that, because when we meet with people, we want to be able to tell them that we support this and we want to see it move to action, because we all was raised what the devil's workshop is.
I
You
don't
already
mind.
know that. Yeah.
I don't mind. I
Would
don't
you tell
mind.
the audience what the devil's workshop is?
I don't mind.
Idle mind. And you fill in the idle mind.
Right.
So
And one statistic I want to share, it's 4 times more costly to house a youth in the juvenile detention center or a jail than it is to give them a public education.
very,
So-
right on target. Right on target. So Reverend Fair, we're gonna put that up under your committee, and we're gonna work with that. As soon as we get our appointment, we'll help you also.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And speaking while you had the floor up and fair, at Miss Tammy Kennedy,
Yes.
I did not call her name as a part of the Martin Luther King celebration, but she's a part of the Martin Luther King celebration. Well, we on time, because we're gonna be distributing on that day also.
Yes.
All right. Very good. And I hope everybody got a wealth of information they can use. And we'll see you next week with some additional information. Thank you very kindly.